Okay, this is RayJ2 here, and today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct that came out today. I focused on a couple things, mostly 3DS, ARMS for Nintendo Switch, and Splatoon 2, also for the Switch. I'm going to talk first about the 3DS stuff that they announced today. Like the new Pikmin game. It's a 2D Pikmin game. It's the first 2D Pikmin game. It's coming out on 3DS. It looks interesting. I liked Pikmin 1. I liked Pikmin 3. Never played Pikmin 2, and I certainly can't say to have played a 2D Pikmin game, but I like the Pikmin series, and I like 2D games, so this game might be interesting to check out. There's also the other standard major release 3DS games besides Pokemon. There's Monster Hunter, Yokai Watch, and a new game that kind of has me interested, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm gonna get it or not. It's called RPG Maker Fez. I'm a big fan of the RPG Maker series, and it's nice that RPG Maker is coming to a handheld for the first time. I would prefer it on the Nintendo Switch rather than the 3DS, but I'm sure that the 3DS version should be able to make good RPGs, like Super Nintendo level RPGs, like you got your Chrono Triggers or what have you. Um, I need to know more about the features and how feature packed that version is, and I might think about getting the RPG Maker game on 3DS. Very exciting. I made my fair share of RPGs back on the XP version, back on PC back in the day, and those games are a lot of fun. They hold up. There's a It's Kirby's 25th anniversary apparently. There's going to be 3 games. From what I understand, they're all going to be eShop games. The first one came out today. It's free. It's like a Smash Brothers type of fighting game, but with Kirby. uh, and 2 other games coming out later this year. Those might not be free, but hey, it's Kirby's 25th anniversary. They're already doing more with Kirby's 25th anniversary than they ever did with Metroid. So that's a bit unfortunate. Amiibo. There's was tons and tons of Amiibo thing announced today. I have 3 Amiibo. I don't really feel the need to want any more. Well, the problem with Amiibo, at least for me, is that they take up a lot of space, and they're nice to look at. I don't buy them for like game related features. I buy them because I like the way they look. I got the Villager. He's my favorite character in Smash 4. I got the 8-bit Super Mario because Mario is one of my favorite series. And I got Toad because I had to get Toad because he's not just any random generic Toad. He is the Toad from Super Mario Brothers 2. Um, but they announced a bunch of amiibo, like 3 Links, 6 new Smash Brothers amiibo, a Pikmin amiibo, 3 new Splatoon amiibo. It's like, wow, if you bought all of them, they could probably add up to well over $100. And I don't have the shelf space for them, so the amiibo stuff was okay for me. Not terribly exciting. And the other major game announcement they showed off today was for the game ARMS. ARMS is a fighter where everyone has big stretchy arms. It's like they have spring arms, ribbon arms. Ramen noodle arms was featured today in the direct for the very first time. Uh, it looks like a decent fighting game, but a game like this, I can't really judge without playing it. And the problem with that is that even when I play it, I can't really judge the quality of the game until I understand what the heck I'm doing. Like, I can see myself flailing around, not playing the game properly, but just like the motion equivalent of button mashing, basically. Maybe you can play the game like that and have fun, but the direct made it seem like there's going to be a lot more strategy to the game. They've introduced kicks, like kicking in arms. I thought that was like a weird a weird feature that for some reason come to mind. Kicking apparently blocks or negates punching moves. Each arm can be infused with like an elemental power, like fire or ice will freeze the opponent, slowing him down. Electric. There's stun, blind, wind, all sorts of different elemental powers you can give like your arms here, as well as like different kinds of arms in general, like whipping arms, power arms. It could be interesting. It could be great. It might be great. But as of right now, I'm on the fence with arms because I need to play it and I need to understand the game. I can't really judge it from what I've seen because from what I've seen, it looks like a crazy arm flailing around party type fighting game when there is a lot of potential here for a more serious fighter as well. Um, they announced a couple of interesting games for the Switch. Minecraft is coming for Switch. That's a big deal because Minecraft is one of the ultimate time wasters of all time. Of course, you're not really wasting your time if you're enjoying the game, because time enjoyed is never wasted. But there's a game called Project Mikura that looks like a fun type of four-player multiplayer game I might be interested in. Very simple gameplay, but very easy to learn, like fun to play. It reminds me of Bomberman in a lot of ways, in that the gameplay is extremely simple, but if you get four players in there, you might have a pretty good time. Monopoly for Switch was announced. That's going to be interesting. It didn't excite me too much because it looks like it's just a port of the current gen version of Monopoly, which I have on the Xbox One. It's a decent game of Monopoly, but it's very basic and as generic as a digital Monopoly game as you can get. There's a board editor, but you can't add pictures, like custom pictures. That might be interesting. I don't think Switch has a camera, so that kind of falls flat for me. There's a new Namco Museum mode. Now, there's always Namco Museum stuff going on with these consoles, and they always release the same games. It's like you got your Pac-Man, you got your Galaga, you got your Dig Dug, but this collection interested me because it seems that they are adding games that they normally don't usually add in these old school retro compilations. Like they got the arcade version of Splatterhouse. I don't think that's been ported anywhere, to be honest. They got Tower of Druaga, Sky Kid, Rolling Thunder 1 and 2, Tank Force, Galaga 88. Those are all games I've not played before, and they might be a lot of fun. I love buying the old school retro arcade compilations. Oh, and it's gonna have a vertical mode too, because like these arcade games, they had a they were in like vertical mode. I suppose you would call them portrait mode these days, but so you can just flip your Switch on its side and experience like the original like arcade style resolution. I think that's great. And finally, there is Splatoon 2. Now, Splatoon 2 got a release date. It's January. No, that's not January. It's in July. It's late July. Is when Splatoon 2 is coming out. I forgot the exact date, but they added a new mode. It's called Salmon Run. Uh, Basically, it's gonna be a lot of fun. If you've ever played Horde mode in Gears of War, or what's that mode? Firefight in Halo. It's basically you're on a team of four, and there's a whole bunch of enemies you have to kill. This is like waves and waves of enemies. I love fighting. For some reason, fighting AI enemies with a team in like a shooter is a lot of fun. I don't know why. I believe it started with Firefight, and it got really popular with Horde mode on Gears, and I'm sure a lot of other shooters have it, but nothing that I can think of at the top of my head. You defeat enemies, they drop eggs, and you're supposed to collect the eggs and take them to a basket or like in your base. And basically, it's, what can I say? It's Horde mode. I saw it and I said, oh, that's Horde mode. This is going to add a lot more value to Splatoon 2. I can see myself playing that game for many, many hours. I can't even imagine like how addicted I'm going to be. I never played Splatoon before, but a couple weeks ago they had this test fire that you can like try out the game. It was like an online multiplayer shooter. It's like 4-on-4. It reminded me of Graffiti from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, in that the object isn't to kill the other team. It's to color it as much as you can. Although you can still shoot people, and that's good because it takes them out of the game for like a good amount of time. It gives you a lot of time to like start coloring more of the map on your side. And I found it very addicting. Like the test periods were only like an hour at a time. Those hours just flew right by, and that's great. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for Splatoon 2. ARMS, I'm on the fence about. Not entirely excited about it, but the main things that excited me about this direct was Splatoon 2 for sure. Maybe Namco Museum, Project Makura, and of course, I've been waiting many years for a U.S. Version of Puyo Puyo Tetris, so I'm going to be getting that when it comes out. It's Tetris, it's Puyo Puyo. Both of them are top tier puzzle games, especially Puyo. It's like you shouldn't like underestimate how intense a heated session of Puyo Puyo can get. Like I used to play crazy mean hardcore sessions with my cousin back in the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection, I think. I had a game called Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which was basically a reskin of Puyo Puyo, and that's when I played it for the first time, and it's a lot of fun, just like chaining combos, and you also got your classic Tetris gameplay, and I'm more excited. I think that's the game I'm most excited about right now for the Switch, because it's like it's coming out very soon, like within a next couple of weeks. Probably won't get it right away, but I'll get it at some point. Puyo Puyo Tetris and Splatoon 2. Those are going to be my next Nintendo Switch purchases. Definitely going to get those. Definitely going to be interesting. And it seems like we're set for the next couple of months. At least when it comes to Nintendo news. So I guess that's all I gotta say. Oh, and I guess Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is coming later this month as well. I'm gonna get that for sure. Not much to say about that though, since we already know a ton about that game. But yeah, this has been my thoughts on the direct. Pretty good direct. If I had to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I would definitely give it a thumbs up. Very interesting direct. Wasn't expecting much today. Was expecting uh, I don't want to say to be disappointed because that just sounds wrong. um, the Nintendo Directs can usually be disappointing, but not this time. Expectations were low, and because of that, they were able to meet them. That's awesome.